Welcome to RelativeVisionTv podcast. You know, here with some good friends. It's Shane Claxton, my buddy, co-host, usually here during every episode. And then I got Joshua Hempstead. You know what I mean? You know these guys. These guys are in here day in and day out. But I do have a new guest on the show. You know what I mean? Somebody I want to introduce. Filmmaker. You know what I mean? A talented guy. He's always had a good temperament about himself. And today we're going to both get the audience and I are going to get a chance to get to know you. You know what I mean? Because I don't know much. We've been talking before this, but appreciate you for being here. You know.
Thank you. No, thank you for having me.
Definitely, man. But we got some cool stuff to talk about today. We're going to talk about fear. You know what I mean? What that means to you, what that means to us, and how that can be maybe disabling. Also, I wanted to talk about influences. You know what I mean? The things that influence you positively and negatively. You know what I mean? But and lastly, I think the last topic we wanted to talk about was actually what was the last topic?
Oh, influence.
Oh, man, I said influence.
Influence, fear, and truth.
Oh, truth. Truth was something. Yeah, truth was definitely something Josh wanted to touch on. Knowing what people's actual, definition and what they believe truth may be for themselves. So I'm gonna go ahead and let Eric introduce himself.
Okay. Yeah. So my name is Eric Elliot. I'm a filmmaker from Southern California, born and raised. I would maybe describe myself as a champion of artists. Like I definitely appreciate creatives and all that art form kind of entails. So I'm a big supporter for people kind of pursuing their dreams with their art form and finding their voice through their creativity. So I definitely want to join that collective and be kind of a part of that that force that's moving forward and kind of showing the world a little bit about their perspective and their POVs. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. When did you actually gain an interest in being an artist yourself?
This is a lifelong passion. So I'm one of those I feel like fortunate people that always kind of knew what they wanted to do. Right. And there was a generation, I think in the 90s, that at least in my class, and my first interest kind of started in animation, and a lot of that was inspired by Disney's kind of run in that 89 to 98 kind of span of films. And so I remember after seeing The Lion King as a little kid, I said,
which is my favorite movie.
Is it really? Yeah. It was a lot. You learned that that movie touched a lot of people and a lot of kids. Exactly. Yeah. Got to put that trailer at some point. But I remember seeing that, and I told myself, I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? And learning, and this is going on maybe a 30-year kind of journey now, learning what that means. I've kind of crystallized it and defined it as being a storyteller, and I realized that I had I was really affected by that story. Little do I know at that point it was Hamlet. It was really that story of betrayal and things like that, and the familial drama. I was really it's I want to tell stories like that.
So have you ever been in theater class?
I wasn't a big theater kid. We didn't really have a drama. We had a drama class, but it wasn't really. We never had a school play or anything like that in high school or anything. But I was definitely big in the animation art community, and so I drew really well. That was one of my first little talents, and so I would draw Buzz Lightyear, draw Woody, or draw Simba or something like that. And so that's where the animation kind of turned went to. So I wanted to. That's where the dream kind of was. Is how do I kind of. And I realized then it wasn't necessarily animation, but I like writing and telling my stories that I come up with. So
that's dope.
That's kind of passion.
So you're inspired by Walt Disney?
Disney was the big inspiration at the start, and what I didn't even realize then is films. Period. Were what, and so some of the best or the most. maybe creatively rewarding times in my life has been in the movie theaters. And I remember my dad kind of taking me out of school. You know, your grade's good, cool, we're gonna go see The Matrix. Like, you know, at noon or something like that, and then sit in the theater. As soon as you like, what? And it's something you had never seen before. And I was like, movies
where she started to do 360.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
that.
And me and my dad loved, like, we grew up on Kung Fu movies, so we would watch Fist of Legend and Enter the Dragon and stuff like that. And, you know, it's like, those are... And then my mom was a big drama person, so you're watching a lot of, like, she loves her little historical pieces. So
I remember watching Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
There we go. Right.
That movie is such a good movie, man.
Yeah.
IP, man.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's just
so those are some of the.
That's dope.
I'm sorry, what you gonna say?
No, go ahead.
So like you say you like Walt Disney.
Yeah.
Like how do you feel about the rumors saying that like he took like people's ideas?
Right. You know what? Like so his creative
like the Lion King. You heard about Kimba? Kimba? Yeah.
No.
It's literally.
Oh, the cartoon? Is it the cartoon from
the manga?
Okay.
It's a manga that was created.
Right.
It literally is like the same story of Lion King.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about like that?
Kind of where he got his creative inspiration from. Yeah. So, to answer your first question in terms of just stealing ideas directly from people around him, and what I love is sort of a little bit of Disney's story. So his partner was Ub Iwerks, right? Ub was responsible for coming up with the 7-plane system of how. So when they shot Snow White, to kind of fake depth in the picture, you would put cells on different planes. And so you would shoot it with the camera, however you would orient the camera in those planes. The background would be here, the castle would be here, the foreground here,
so
and your character. And that invention is an Ub Iwerks invention. And there's a story, there used to be a story that Disney was a taskmaster in that way, to where... And it's one of my favorite other little quotes. If you guys have ever seen Steve Jobs and Aaron Sorkin, the Michael Fassbender film where he plays Steve Jobs, he has a quote in it. He goes, there's some people that play instruments, but I play the orchestra. And Disney was very much of that. You guys have a talent for drawing stuff like that, but I can play you guys and tune you guys in a way that you can see my creative vision. There's a story where Disney's at a dinner one day and a kid goes up to him and says, I love Mickey Mouse, blah, 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 blah. So he says, draw Mickey for me. He draws Mickey and he signs it. Hands it to the kid. So he's very much that kind of person. What you have to, I think, remove is there's certain artists, Picasso has a saying too, great artists steal. You're always influenced by.
It's emulating.
Right. You're always going to be. So those stories of Kimba, and then when you hear stories of the real story of Snow White, or the real story of Pinocchio, or the real story of Dumbo, or like these folklore and fairy tales, you can take from different things, but it's your artistic voice that is going to filter through, and it's like no one's going to be able to tell a story like Disney told that story.
I feel you on that though, but like I feel like it's like a difference from like like an influence and then like completely steal. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because like if you look at the Kimba story, it's like damn near identical.
Right. But what I said before too.
I know what you mean.
The main crux of let's just say since I was talking about Lion King is Hamlet, right? So it's the story of an uncle taking over a kingdom, blah blah blah. So even Kimba is taking influences from Shakespeare in that way. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just how Disney would. That wasn't even that was Katzenberg at that time. But how that studio would interpret that story, and I think there are certain shots. That shot of the sunrise coming up is one of the most iconic shots. It really is. In history, that's one of the most iconic. That's one of the top 5 shots in history. So it's hard to. You're always going to be an artist. What your vision is to kind of filter out what that story is. That's what makes it special.
I get what you mean though. Like like how Disney kind of has like his own like little like flavor to it.
Right. You give 2 artists, musicians. You give 2 artists the same song. Here's the same lyric. And it's both going to be interpreted different. It's just like how I see the world.
Like it has like its different perspective.
Right. So I appreciate it for that, but I'm not blind to the fact that these are a lot of white people stealing a lot of material during that time. That we're going to profit off it in this way. But I can definitely see the other side of the argument.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
He was a creative force. I can't,
Not least just in our one of our topics is influence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And how we're all influenced by the things around us, our environment. You know what I mean? People. I wouldn't say that I have a person that I look up to, other than my father, of course. But I'm influenced by people and inspired by what people do. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to ask you guys, you know what I mean, what do you think? What are the influence around you? What makes you thrive? You know what I mean? What things make you actually want to be inspired and do your art? Shane?
Excuse me. I guess for me it would have to be the people around me, the way I see my family, and primarily the way they worked, the way they grew up, what they learned, what they taught me, has influenced me to try to stay influenceable by anything that's around me.
Right. Okay. Just to make it simple.
Yeah.
For sure. Josh?
I would say like my influence would probably be just like my culture in general, like, you know, just my family, my friends. Like this right here is an influence to me. That's pretty much it. Like those things right there.
That's what's up.
I'm definitely influenced by other artists. I definitely feel like, particularly in my craft of filmmaking, other directors that have, you know, similar kind of rises through the ranks kind of definitely influence me.
What directors would those be?
Oh God, I think a lot of everyone has their own little periods right now. Some certain artists go through their little. So right now, currently, I'm in a Stanley Kubrick period. So last year, I was fortunate enough to catch, which is widely considered one of the greatest films of all time, 2001: A Space Odyssey. We got to see that in 70mm in Hollywood last year.
That's dope.
Yeah. Oh my God. And it was. It's a masterpiece in my eyes, and what you really appreciate about Stanley, and what I'm really kind of drawing an influence from, where he really kind of is the can we curse on this podcast?
Yeah.
Just the fucking balls that this dude had. It at such a young age, to have a vision that was so radical, you know what I mean? That no one had. We hadn't even. For those of you guys who are familiar with 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's a film that takes place largely in space, but this is before we even went to the moon. So it's him kind of projecting ideas about where humanity may go in the future and giving us, you know, one of more. So that piece alone, I'm just like studying.
Yeah, I've never seen the movie.
Oh
so.
God!
I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't know if I've seen it.
There's you know what? Even if you haven't seen, you'll know the song. So
It's like a famous song.
Oh, there's I'm trying to think of the lyric now. The Blue Danube is the big one. I'm not gonna pull out the phone. But when you hear that,
Gotcha.
So that large.
That's a very famous song.
Famous, you know what I mean, and made famous because of this film. Where how he used that, and so you'll see how he used that song in that sequence, and then where somebody like Chuck Jones and Warner Brothers, and where he took like Looney Tune cartoons and used that music. You know what I mean, and how that is just all inspired. It was a man.
Yeah.
2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah, I got it now. I got it.
Yeah, please. And they had the 50-year anniversary, so every few years they throw it back out in theaters, and it's an event, one of those event films. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what's up, man. Seem very cultured. That's
I appreciate
dope. That's dope. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate it.
Yeah, so where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Pomona, California, so not too far from here.
Okay.
At least that's what feels like home to me. And we split our time from Pomona and San Dimas. I ended up going to San Dimas for high school.
Okay. Well, Josh from Pomona.
Yeah. Get out of here.
You look familiar for some reason.
Do I really?
Yeah, I was going to say that earlier, but I was like, I don't know if I'm tripping. Yeah, I grew up in Pomona.
Oh, did you really? Yeah. So I was right off of Cadillac Drive, like right by the hospital.
Yeah, Pomona Valley?
Yeah. I worked in Pomona Valley for a little bit too.
Okay.
Yeah. So right.
Yeah, so we're all from California, man. I'm from Pasadena, so.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Born in Pasadena.
Yeah,
Raised in Pasadena.
my pops is from Pasadena.
Oh, really?
Mirror, I think.
No way.
Mirror,
Yeah, what year? You graduated, man. How's your pops?
He's 50s.
He's about the same age as my dad.
Yeah, some of that ballpark,
Yeah. What's your dad's name?
Eric Elliot, Senior.
Eric Elliot.
Turkey Tussles, but we used to go to Southern. We go down there for those games.
Okay. That's dope, man. That's dope. Yeah.
Small world.
That's
small world.
Very small world. That's cool, man. Yeah, I gotta ask my dad. My dad.
Yeah.
You know, ask your dad if he knows any hoods.
What's the
Paula Hood? Ask him if he knows a Paula Hood.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom
what year?
She knows everybody. I don't know. She's older than my dad though, so she's you know what I mean. So she's maybe a year or two older. You know what I mean? So, but she went to Mir. So,
did she really? Okay,
so
They I bet
they may have cross paths. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? And it's been a long time, so you know, I'm sure they may have, you know.
What about yourself? You were in high school out there?
I went to high school in Burbank.
I
went to Burbank High
Yeah.
School. Yeah, my freshman year, I went to Notre Dame in Sherman Oaks, out in the valley. So, you know what I mean? I was a good student, you know what I mean? Good athlete, you know what I mean? So
basketball, football?
Basketball and football, and I ran track.
Did you?
Played baseball, you know what I'm saying? But I stopped playing baseball so much in high school. You know, I started running track more.
Yeah.
So, man, I was all over sports growing up. So it was a cool experience. I was always traveling, so I got like a lot of exposure.
Get out of here.
You know what I mean? So I was, you know, a pretty good athlete. You know what I mean?
Distance runner, hurdles?
400.
Okay.
400. You know what I mean?
400.
Yeah, 400. You know, I was a beast trying to work on my speed. So you know what I mean. The 400. If you can run a 400, it helps you get faster. You know what I mean? And then it helps your win. So when you get on the football field, you're not tired because you run 400 meters. You know what I mean? In one sprint. Like, so if you get the ball on the football field, you gotta make it 60 yards. That's easy. That's easy, you know. So, but yeah, man, I grew up in Pasadena. Ended up going to private school. Graduated from Burbank High School. Went to college in Ohio. Also went to Valley College out in Van Nuys. Okay. You know what I mean? Played football there for a year. You know, and then went out to Ohio and graduated from school in Ohio. Man, that's a hell of an experience. Yeah. I've traveled. You know, I
was gonna say traveling out of state for school. That would have been rough for you.
Man, I've always been the type of person to, you know, want to push the boundaries of things. You know what I mean? Like, try to get out of my comfort zone. You know what I mean? Like, because you can put blinders on. You know what I mean? And you know, forget about there's other places, there's other things than what you're doing. You know what I mean? So people sometimes get caught up in their own lives and don't recognize the things that are around them. You know what I mean? And they don't appreciate them. So you know, we live in a great country, bro. Like, if you've ever traveled through the country, there's plenty of great states that look awesome. You know what I'm saying? New Mexico is a nice one. And there's not a lot of people that live in New Mexico. So, I mean, traveling's awesome. So.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had that's one of the dreams is to be able to kind of travel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Whether you do it out of the country, out of the state, you know what I mean? It's always different culture in different places. So, you know what I mean? You want to put yourself in different cultures. You know what I mean? To learn how the rest of the world is moving. You know what I mean? That's what real, I think, intelligence is when you can learn something firsthand from someone. You know what I mean? They talk about history, but if you go to see history and don't just read about it, because when you read about it, it's just what you make up in your mind. We talked about that earlier. It's just most of everything is, when you read, is, you know, just your imagination, and it's very unique. But beyond that, you know, once you see these places, your dreams come true in a sense. So, and you see some great things. You know what I mean? So. If you go to the most rural of places where they got just trees and it's quiet outside, you know what I mean? You can see the lights. Have you even been to Big Bear?
Have I been? No. I'm lying. I have been to Big Bear. We shot a short film in Big Bear, actually.
Oh. You been to Big Bear? Never. You been to Big Bear? Big Bear. Like, even if you're like in Big Bear, Arrowhead, like you see it at nighttime, in a place where you can see all the lights, it's worth it. Yeah. We get stuck in the city and don't, you know what I mean? We kind of lose ourselves in the city. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so much going on so quick.
So you like to reconnect with nature and kind of.
I mean, it's nature, but you know, I'm connected with myself. I'm able to think a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't really get silence when you're around everything that makes noise. Everything that you're around in the city is always just nonstop. So how could you Like, yeah, you can meditate and actually be at peace with yourself. There's a lot of people that are at peace with themselves, but those people become at peace with themselves because they're able to have some type of solidarity. You know what I mean? And being in a place like that, that's calming, you know what I mean, helps you get that solidarity and get the understanding of yourself inside out. You know what I mean? Rather than always needed some type of gratification from, you know what I mean, a microphone, your computer, your cell phone. You know what I mean? Even other people. You know what I mean? So that solidarity is always awesome. But yeah, man, traveling to do that for me, it's part of culture. But yeah, once again, I appreciate you guys for being here, man. This is a lot more chill podcast than we did the last couple of nights. I mean, yeah, it was a lot of good conversation yesterday, but we had a lot of energy. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We were drinking a little bit more, had liquor, beer, you know what I mean? Right. But everybody was so charged up and passionate about what we were talking about. And we actually got into, Josh was like, I wanted to talk about what truth meant to people. I mean, and I'll let you go more into that, but...
Oh, yeah, like, I was basically wanted to kind of see what everybody's definition of what truth really is. So I want to know, like, what is your definition, or what do you think truth really is?
Well, how about you go into that?
You want me to say?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How about you go into that, too?
Okay, well, like, to me, I would say truth, I would say it's more based on, like, a perspective kind of thing. Like, say if I was talking to you, right? Yeah. And I had, like, the card 6, or, like, a number 6, and I just threw it right between us. Like, I would see a 6, but you would probably see, like, a 9 or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and I would tell you, like, no, you're wrong, but at the same time, can you be wrong because your perception, like, you're seeing it, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're seeing a 9, like, even, like, you know, it's just your perception is different than mine. So, like, even though I can be truth about what I see, you can also be true about what you see, just your perspective on it is different, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then also, you got to look at things from, like, a 360 degree angle, you know? So, truth can honestly mean, like, it can just be a lot of things. It can be your perspective, basically. It's just like your perspective on what you see things as.
And I guess from that you have to be open to other people's perspectives. Yeah,
and then also too, like, there's a difference between, like, truth and, like, undeniable truth. You know what I mean? Like, undeniable truth, there's, like, no question about it. Like, you know, like your mom is your mom. Like, you know that your mother is your mother. That's, like, undeniable truth. Like, you know, like, things like that. Yeah. And then you have truth that's like how would I say it? Like, there's some people that believe things and, like, think that it's true just because, like, the concept of that, like their perception of it. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, even though you can give them, like, billions of facts on what they see truth is wrong, but they still won't, like, believe you. You know what I mean? Because, like, their perception of it, like, you know, like, their perception of it is so strong that, like, you can't even take that away from them. Yeah. You know what I mean? But there's some things, like I was saying, that's undeniable truth that is just, like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. But yeah, truth is basically just like your perception.
No, I mean, some people have a better understanding of things. Yeah. And I think that's a part of what you're trying to say. Is like, when you experience more of life, you have a better understanding of how things are happening around you. Yeah. Exactly. You know what I mean? It takes somebody going through something to open their eyes to some things. And some people don't ever, you know what I mean, get that experience to open their eyes to something because they might be so ignorant about the situation. Not saying that they're dumb or anything like that, but ignorance is just, you know, not having an understanding of something. And it's okay because we're all ignorant to multiple things. So you have to be taught, you know what I mean? We're all kids in a sense, you know what I mean? Like, nobody has the answers. Otherwise, we would be successful more often. You know what I mean? People wouldn't fail as often if somebody had the key to how to do things. You know what I mean? So, yeah, truth is definitely... It's kind of like
how we were saying earlier about, like, the success and failure thing. Like, you wouldn't really have success without failure.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't have a drive to do anything if you... you know what I mean? If you didn't lose, what was the point of playing the game? Yeah. What was the point of playing the game? The game gets boring if you get all W's.
For real.
You know what I mean? But I don't know anybody that's living like that. So, you know what I mean? Everybody's taking the L. Some people don't come back. But
then also too, I want you to say too, like truth can, it can also be like how you were saying earlier, like you know things through experiencing them.
Right.
It's kind of like that too. Like truth can be like maturity or like experience. Like you have to experience the truth to know the truth. Because the truth will never like there's like a saying like the truth will never deny the secret will always deny the truth. And I feel like that's very true.
Secret. Say that again.
The truth will never deny the seeker will always deny the truth. The truth will never deny the seeker will deny the truth. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. I feel that. That's real.
Like, the truth is always going to be true. It's just, are you going to believe it or not? Like,
Gotcha. Shane, you want to go into what you think truth is?
That's a hard concept for me to comprehend. The truth is obviously what's true, defining it with its own word, but I guess for me, the truth is transparency. You know the ins and outs and everything about what that truth is. Like, I know for a fact that I am a 21-year-old male. That's it. Like, I know the ins and outs. It's an undeniable truth, exactly.
But how do you know what 21 years old is unless somebody told you?
Somebody told me.
That's not your concept of life.
That's just my perception. Is it the truth? I don't know. See, we perceive that as an undeniable truth, but is it undeniable?
No, I wasn't saying like that. I wasn't saying like that was like undeniable.
No. I perceive that as undeniably true. I've been here for 365 days, 21 times, and counting some until July. That's true.
Yeah.
That's a tough concept.
That's kind of why I wanted to bring it up. Because everybody's gonna have a different
right. What is true?
Different take on it.
Man.
So, did you want to elaborate on it?
Yes. So I'll I think I feel a little bit like Shane in that it's a difficult because it's such a broad concept, right? Truth. What I do like, and I feel like I maybe want to take a little bit from everybody is. I do like the bit of truth being a certain perspective, and you being maybe self-assured in that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
What I find to be the most empowering for me, and what I feel like is how I can best use somebody's perspective to gain insight into walking in their shoes for a little bit. You know what I mean? It is when somebody is talented enough to give me their truth or their perspective. In a way that engages me artistically. So we'll take somebody like we were talking earlier, Biggie, right? I feel like his artwork or his how he saw the world through that first album puts you on Fulton Street, in New York during that time, and how he spoke his truth about starting the project, as a baby, being bored and ending the project on a suicidal thought. You were really kind of on that journey of what it meant to be.
No, don't you feel like those stories were a lot more vivid?
Yeah, but that's the talent, and that's what I'm saying. Where you can take me and put me in your truth and what it's like to be, your experience, and maybe not shy away from some of the warts and some of the ugly stuff that happens to all of us, and give it to me in a way that's like I can appreciate what it means and I can empathize what it means to be, have your perspective. You know what I mean? Because I think, like you said, it is very difficult. You throw down a card, I see a 6, you see a 9. Some people are just, well, that's where the line, that's where it stops.
They don't look at it from both
exactly.
sides.
But it's more, when you can be a little bit more open, like you were saying earlier, and let me. You got to do a little bit of work, I think, on both ends. But let me try to articulate.
That's what I was saying. Like,
right.
Look at it from
Exactly. Like, can you?
So that's a good concept. That brings up a good question. Is in this society, since we all have these different perspectives, how do we get people to have this conversation when everybody has such a different perspective? Because that's one of the main themes of my show is getting people like us, like-minded artists, in a room and having a conversation. Yeah, we're similar background, but not necessarily. Everybody has a different mindset, and you know what I mean? How do we get people to start to have an intelligent conversation, listening to one another, and connecting socially? You know what I mean? How do we get people to actually be better? And the theme of being social actually came up with Shane. I mean, so what do you think is the way that we can actually connect and break down the barriers that have us disconnected and seeing a 6 and a 9 and not being able to understand one another?
The only way is conversation and compassion.
But people have conversations all the time. That doesn't.
Just died.
People have conversations all the time. That doesn't mean
exactly
that they're gonna their mind's gonna change. So how can we?
I think that's the way to do it. That is the way to do it. But I don't.
But
think
if they're already talking, like how do you? They're not. They're just not gonna listen. Those people
are ignorant. They're ignorant to what we have to say. I don't think people will ever be able to coexist. We as in the people who are ready to be ready to be open and come together and become a team, a union. Those of us who are ready to become united, and those who are not ready to become united. Those who are not ready to become united are not open to having conversation. And that's the only way we're going to solve this. Is through conversation and just being a fellow man.
What if the conversation is about what happened with Kylie Jenner today?
What happened with Kylie Jenner today?
I'm not saying, but those topics aren't, you know what I mean, advancing.
Well, that's not doing anything for us, but...
That's my point, and he's like quick to be like, "What happened to Kylie Jenner today?" You know what I mean?
I'm just trying to, that's my lady, but.
Oh, you like Kylie Jenner?
Yeah. I thought you were about to say she got robbed.
Oh
what happened to my baby?
Yeah, that's. You sharing her, huh?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's a good question. Like how would we get everybody to like come as a like-minded collective?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Because everybody has similarities. We know that. People are, you know what I mean? We're intelligent enough to know that. But I know that everybody isn't on the same level. You know what I mean? Like, we're all different. You know what I mean? People are more talented than others. You know, to say that we are all equal is that we should have equal rights, not to say that we are all capable of the same things.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know what I mean? I think that's what comes with knowing the truth and accepting, you know, truths about yourself and about the world. You know what I mean? Like, we obviously can depict with the story that's being told and how it's being told. It doesn't mean it's exactly our story. You know what I mean? So
I think you kind of said it like right too, like kind of like what I was trying to say earlier too, like what you said about the acceptance thing.
Yeah,
like that's kind of like how you can kind of line that in with truth too, like truth can be acceptance. You know, like you have to accept it.
Yeah. That's definitely a major part of knowing. Yeah. You know what I mean? The truth.
And I think
accepting.
And I think that's the hard part. I think that's the hard part.
You know what I mean? Like we're not everything. We're a piece of something. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So to know that there's something bigger than yourself is to understand that with there being something bigger than you, that you're playing a part in the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, that might be a concept for some people that don't understand. You know what I mean? So they won't ever understand or be intellectual enough to have a truth or to search out a truth. You know what I mean? It's life passed some people by. You know what I mean? I guess that's why we're here, to try to inspire some people that are letting life pass them by and not living life. You know what I mean? It's just like, are you living to die or are you dying to live? You know what I mean? I think most of us come together because we have a desire to live. You know what I mean? A desire to learn, a desire to create, a desire to, you know what I mean, socialize. You know what I mean? So, and that's why it's awesome to be able to do this every day. You know what I mean? I get to hang around people that I learn from and keep me on my toes and inspire me and want to talk about truth and actually get a message out. And and I feel like everybody that's going to get to see the show will hopefully, you know what I mean, change something in their life for the better. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's awesome to be around you guys and be able to spend this time because we won't be here together. You know what I mean? This is maybe the first time we get to hang out, but definitely will not be the last. And it's, you know, it's been a great.
I was gonna say I can't wait till you start like actually like showing them like, you know, going to, like how you're talking about going out to food places and like out there and doing the events.
Yeah, man.
I think that's another thing that's gonna be great too.
Yeah.
As far as like, you know, getting people to start to it's like as far as being a catalyst to like, you know, people to be positive and starting to do things like this as well.
Right. Yeah. So our whole mission is to be able to bring community together. You know what I mean? Converse and have a good time. If you didn't know, we got a lot of projects, a lot of work that we're trying to put out to inspire people. And you know what I mean? These two artists, you know what I mean, have great music. We'll get to check that out a little bit later. But yeah, like I said, the truth is the fact that we are here grinding, we're willing to make something of ourselves and wanting to leave a legacy in some type of way. And I guess that's the like-mindedness that has us in the same place at the same time, and we're moving forward. And it's a energy, a vibe they call it. You know what I'm saying? So we're trying to put those good vibrations, energies out into the universe, and definitely reciprocate some of that back. You know what I mean? Not in a selfish way, because we all have a family to take care of. You know what I mean? We all have dreams, and things don't happen for free. So you know what I mean? You got to make a way for yourself.
It's crazy because like what you're saying has been happening too. Like, you know, like we've been putting out that energy.
Yeah, it's manifestation, bro.
Like seeing,
if you believe
like
it,
seeing people pop up at his house like this right now, like you know, it's crazy.
Yeah, man. It's real, man. We were talking about it earlier. My best friend said I had an eye to bring people together. You know what I mean? And I don't know if it's a special talent or I don't know what's going on, but I'm just listening and I'm doing. You know what I mean? And I'm not doing in a negative way. So if you're not doing negative, things will happen for you. You know what I mean? If you do negative, you can't do anything but expect the bad to happen. So I feel like if I'm trying to bring people together and do good things, like what bad can happen from that? You know what I mean? As long as we're doing it the right way. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm trying to fix situations. I'm trying to get involved in situations. I'm trying to be active. You know, so this is our 5th podcast, and we're getting better and better day by day, and we've been working at this, and I hope that we make it as long as, you know what I mean, people are listening and chiming in, telling us what they want to hear and how we can get better. Today you helped us out with a lot of the lighting and, you know what I mean, and taught us a lot today. I definitely appreciate that. And
Thank you for having me.
Man. You know what I mean? It's a good experience, man. And we're all learning something, I hope, you know what I mean? Gaining some type of good energy, you know what I mean? And I feel the good energy in this room, and I just want to say, like, you know, it's been a great show so far, and I hope that, you know, anybody that's following, listening, watching, you guys stay tuned, because it's only going to get better. Yes. We're only going to bring you more interesting facts and, you know, journalism, as well as, you know what I mean, opinions and different views. You know what I mean? We want you guys to see yourself in a role and have a voice of your own. So if you want to come on the show, or you want to call and let us know what you think about the show, like, we're creating a family. You know what I mean? Something balanced, and we got to be better as a people, and it starts with speaking up. You know what I mean? Having conversations about everything and anything. You know what I mean? It's about self-care, help, love, all these things. So, yeah. Lastly, I just want to say, man, we're going to end the podcast, and I just want to say I appreciate you guys for coming today, and stay strong, stay focused, stay driven, and remember, every day that you have is a day to make something of yourself. Just because you were something in the past doesn't mean you can't be something greater in the future. So thank you guys for being here.
Yeah,
and this was maybe one of the quicker podcasts, but I enjoyed it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And next time on Relative Vision, we'll check you out and check out our pages. It is Relative Vision TV on everything except Twitter. Twitter, it's TV Relative.
Okay.
But it's Relative Vision TV. And check us out. We'll be on every platform. We'll be on iTunes, Spotify, everything. And soon enough, we'll have an app as well. So get the app. Get the app.
Get the app.
Get the app.
Get the app.
But yeah, we got more content coming soon. Have a good night, and we'll see you soon. Appreciate it.
Peace.
So that's the visuals over, but I guess I'm gonna just let it go. I mean, we can still chill. The mic is still on. If we catch some extra stuff, we catch some extra.
You have some good stuff to say, man. I like your words.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yes,
I
very much
appreciate
so,
it.
man.
It was very good.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, man. So how old are you?
30. It's gonna be 31 this.
When's your birthday?
April 25th.
Okay, I'm April 14.
Are you really?
Yeah, and I'll be
Taurus?
31.
You Taurus?
I'm an Aries.
Aries?
You're Taurus.
I just missed it.
Yeah, you just missed it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I didn't know you were 31. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a year older. That's cool, man.
How old are you? You shocked me with 21. How old are you?
I'm 24.
Okay, yeah.
30.
Oh, you're 30? Okay, there we go.
30.
Yeah. And you're coming up soon, man.
Yeah.
I'm coming up on birthday.
I know, huh?
Yeah, man. My son is April 4th.
Y'all, it ain't fun.
Yeah, my son is April 4th, man. Yeah.
Wait, no, that's like, is that April Fool?
No.
That's April 1st.
April
April
1st, yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle denied my vacation.
He did not.
Well, no, like he took a week away. I gotta, yeah.
Because that's too many.
I'm not gonna take 3 weeks in a row.
Oh, that sucks.
I was supposed to get my shit today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Let's not talk about work.
He's like,
Let's not talk about work.
I hear you. I'll be so sick of hearing people when they be talking about that place.
That was real, man.
Just chill. Thank you.
Yeah, dude. Like, I for real just feel like, yes, it's a job, man.
Yeah.
Helps me pay my bills, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I go in there with the mindset of, you know what I mean? I have to be better no matter what.
Right.
So I'm not going to go in there and not be better.
Right.
Some things I know I'm not going to be able to change.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't be out there trying to be Superman as a supervisor. And some cats be out there being Superman.
Right.
I'd be like, dude,
Right.
why do you work so
Yeah,
hard if
like-
you're not going to be able to change it by
Right.
yourself?
Right.
And it's like, not everybody has your view.
Right.
So,
Little internal things.
yeah. Some people don't even get that, man. It's like, you got to make your way up to make any changes.
Yeah.
So that's business for you.
Yeah.
That's real.
So what y'all kind of do is what do you guys kind of got going on as a collective? I heard one idea in terms of going out to food locations.
Oh yeah,
spots,
doing a food blog and yeah.
You guys are foodies. Y'all go to
I
restaurants.
I do like to eat. I like to eat. You know what I mean? But I don't mind being at home. I love to cook too.
Oh, do you?
So yeah, I
I
love
to
to
be a
cook.
little bit in the kitchen myself.
Yeah.
I love cooking, honestly.
Yeah, so I got other things coming up. I'm gonna create a sports show as well.
Oh, get on
So,
here.
but I'm not gonna really be on.
You got Rams and Pats.
My heart wants the Rams, but not really because I'm a 49ers fan.
Yeah.
But I would love to see an LA team win. So that's what
Oh,
I'm at
nice.
with that. And then the Pats, just because it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
It's hard when you see Brady do what he's doing. I'm like, it's
It
hard to
makes
stop
sense.
this man.
It makes
How do you
sense. Like,
stop this
Nobody's
man?
gonna get to this many Super Bowls and lose all of them. And they lost last year.
Yeah, he may have it this year.
They lost last year.
This year.
That's gonna be
I
tough for
hope
them
you
to
don't
come
fall
lose
apart.
again.
Let me ask you this: how do you feel about the call, Saints call, helmet to helmet?
I mean,
What you
I
think?
think it made a difference and it stopped them from scoring a touchdown on that drive. And that touchdown may have helped them win that game.
I think one.
But they also had other opportunities.
Right.
So it's up and down. And there's always calls in the game that could have changed the you know what I mean, temperature of the game. So it's football, bro. Right. So, you know, me and my mindset now.
It's like, not an illegitimate.
It's a no excuse. Like once you become an adult of things, it's like it's a no excuse. You know.
What do you?
Come on, don't complain.
Right.
It is. You got to take some shit.
Right.
You got to take some shit.
Brady also had a real questionable call in that next game. In my eyes, this may be a little conspiratorial, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, 2 calls like that in 2 different games. I'm like, is something going on upstairs? Like, it's like, how does that happen?
But that's been sports forever, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
and there was that little thing in the 90s.
So let me tell you my theory. My theory is that the only way you can circumvent somebody else putting their hands on the game is that you're so good that you break the video game. So my break the video game theory is that when teams are so good, the refs can't beat you. There's nothing they can do because you're scoring touchdowns legitimately, and they're like, damn, they're scoring so fast and quick, our calls won't even matter. So like, there's people that cheat because people will do anything for money. You know what I mean? Like that's what take care of your family. Yeah, they say money's evil, but look at it. This perspective is that people have to take care of their families. Mm-hmm. I mean, think about how much people love their families. Mm-hmm. Come on now, you want to do what you can, and some people are willing to risk more to get more.
Right. And I feel like there's natural gamblers out there. You know what I mean? Natural people. So
and of course there's there's gang shit. There's gang shit going on.
You know what I mean?
There's bullies.
Because I'm feeling like Vegas took a real hard left after that call. You know what I mean? People were just like, come on, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy.
But
there's no way you missed.
But maybe that's what you're betting on. Maybe that's what the bets are for. You know, like, what they gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, that's a part of the thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes it cool. You know what I mean? Like, bringing it to my, I'm thinking about that's a cool concept. I guess it makes me more excited to watch the game.
I'm gonna see what that is.
But I also think that this is a big TV show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They have the biggest production in the world.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's no bigger production company than these NBCs and the football that they make.
Young team and a real experienced team.
It's a movie.
It's a good narrative.
It's a movie. I be thinking sometimes, I'm like, I bet you they be practicing together, and this whole thing is scripted.
It's all choreographed.
It's everything. Everything is choreographed. It's too good sometimes.
I'm like, but I definitely do appreciate. I'm like Brady. You even in that last game, I'm like, there was no pressure. Like he felt totally in control. I'm gonna just move the ball how I want to move.
You know what I mean? But don't you feel that way as you get older? You just feel more secure in yourself
and
that's your whole situation.
Like I've been here before.
Yeah,
like I have
and the things
even like the risk, the stakes, how high the pressure is. I'm like, you're in front of millions of people at home, and I'm just moving. Yeah, like I'm just like that's talent. Like that's something else. Like to be that selfish is like boom. I'm just.
I think people hate greatness, though.
Yeah, it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch. And it's like, how did this man do that in under 2 minutes? Like, how do you do that?
I mean, I feel like a lot of cats do it. It's just a matter of everybody being on the same page.
Yeah. They got a team. They got a team that is like, we know what we doing out here.
Yeah, you got to live up to that standard.
Yeah.
It's hard to be around somebody that good and not want to be good too. You know, LeBron's the same way. He has the same type of pool. I guess that's a thing that greatness brings, like, because you have to be, you know. Do you hoop? Do you play basketball?
I used to.
Okay.
And I went as soon as we played a little bit of ball last year. Okay. So every now and again, I'm still out there. I'm gonna get out there, get my wind up. I get out there, get the little full game, but man.
I just bought a jump rope. Yeah.
Oh, did you really? I was at the 5 minutes. It's been 3 months I've been off my program. Roughly, you know what I mean? Like when them holidays hit, we moved. So that's the thing. Like I said, we went to Ontario, excuse me. I moved to Redlands. Threw me off my whole little program. The holidays came and I was eating.
Man, I just been getting lazy and more focused about doing stuff that.
Right.
Yeah, physically, I'm not really worried about looking good, but I feel like I'm healthy and I eat good. I don't eat a bunch of bull crap all the time.
Right.
So, and I feel like I can slack off a little bit. So I'm more worried about my mind than my body.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like if I'm working on this muscle, which muscle means the most? I'm not in the best place, but I feel like I'm in a place where I'm self-healing.
There we go.
And it's, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it comes with everything. You start to realize shit when you start to be a little bit more healthy.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Gotta gain that perspective.
Your eyes clear up a little.
Right. Especially, kind of coming off some hard L's, like taking that perspective and just, you know what, if anything, I gotta use this as a learning experience.
Because I just through relationship stuff, being sad about not making it to the league or football not going.
What position? I wanted to ask you. I'm sorry.
A running back.
Really? Get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I play football. Like I'll tell anybody, like what do you need me to do? I can do it. I play football. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm a running back. I like to get the ball. I'm always like, give me the ball. I got this. That's the type of mentality I've always had. Some coaches thought I was arrogant or whatever, but it's never been arrogance. Growing up in Pasadena, it's not arrogance. It's just, you know what I mean, how you get your edge. You know what I'm saying? Like you get better off of people being good around you, them talking shit to you, and then you're like, all right, he got me this now, but now I'm gonna get you. And then I'm gonna keep getting you. I'm gonna get better. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be at home working out. Like you ain't gonna get me no more. I'm not getting shook no more. You know what I'm saying? You gotta take some L's. You know what I'm saying? You gotta take those L's, bro. That motivation. Michael Jordan must have got his ass beat in the basketball. Michael Jordan got his ass beat in the basketball game.
It's not gonna happen again.
He was not beating me no more. That's exactly how that happened.
Bad boys. It's I'm not losing another championship. Like, that don't happen no more.
It was just snap. You know what I'm saying?
You talk about seeing greatness. To be alive and in a game during that time to see Jordan probably do this, that had to be like, wow.
He's just so dominant. I've never seen nothing like it. No, I'm lying because I felt that way about Mike Tyson. Because when Mike got in the ring, it was like, oh my God.
Mike was 17 years old. 17 years old, knocking out grown men. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just the way he moved. I'm like, it was. He tapped into something that was unnatural.
I mean, I'm sure we all feel like that sometimes, but to see that is like, wow.
There's that shot. I forget who he's fighting. But we're they're kind of reading, in your corner, blah, 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 do this and that. And as the boys moving side to side, you just see Mike's eye. He's like, he doesn't even move. He just watching it. You just knew it was over. You knew it was over as soon as that bell rang. It was crazy. But yeah. What time we got? So I want to say thank you again. I appreciate you. Having me. It was great meeting everybody.
Nice meeting you, man. I'll see you again.